Imagine losing the person you care about most in a tragedy so devastating it shakes the entire world. But what if that tragedy wasn't an accident? What if it was a meticulously orchestrated attack, designed to cover up an even darker secret? Liam Carter is seen standing over a grave, rain pouring down, a tear rolling down his cheek. Welcome to Shadow of the Fallen Sky, a gripping story where betrayal, corruption, and conspiracy collide. In today's video, we're diving deep into the intense, high-stakes world of Liam Carter, a former sniper who embarks on a dangerous mission for justice after his nephew's death in a catastrophic plane crash. Stick around as we break down how the story unfolds, the characters' complex motivations, and the thrilling twists that will keep you on the edge of your seat. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Shadow of the Fallen Sky is set to be one of the most suspenseful thrillers out there. Let's get started. The desert sun hangs low over the horizon, casting long shadows over the dunes of the Kingdom of Asmar. The air is thick with tension as the heat waves ripple above the dusty streets of the capital. Liam Carter lies prone on the rooftop of a crumbling building, his sniper rifle aimed at a distant convoy of black SUVs kicking up a cloud of dust. His hands are steady, but his mind is racing. He knows this is a critical mission, and he has to be alert and focused. He takes a deep breath and relaxes his grip, ready to pull the trigger. Beside him, Daniel Reed, his partner and longtime friend, adjusts his own rifle scope, his eyes locked on the lead vehicle. Target in sight, Daniel whispers, his voice barely audible over the whistling wind. Liam, however, isn't paying attention to the convoy. His heart skips a beat as he sees a figure step out of the vehicle, a figure he knows all too well. It's his nephew Ethan Carter, the boy he thought was dead, the boy he had grieved for, the boy who had perished in a plane crash, or so he had been led to believe. Liam's grip tightens around the rifle, his breath hitching in his throat. He lowers his weapon, his mind struggling to make sense of what he's seeing. How can this be? How could Ethan be alive? What are you doing? Daniel hisses, noticing Liam's hesitation. Take the shot. But Liam can't. His hands tremble as memories flood back. Memories of training Ethan, of raising him like a son after his sister's death. Memories of their bond, their laughter, their shared dreams. And now, Ethan is standing before him, alive and well, and in the company of dangerous men. I know him, Liam whispers, his voice hoarse with shock. Daniel's eyes widen in confusion. What do you mean you know him? Liam doesn't respond. His mind is a whirlwind of emotions, grief, anger, disbelief. He had spent months mourning Ethan, believing him to be dead. And now here he is, right in front of him, working with the very people responsible for the plane crash that took his life. It doesn't make any sense. The scene shifts to a time long before the tragedy, a time when life was simpler. The sound of laughter fills the air as Ethan, a bright-eyed 18-year-old, spars with his uncle in a makeshift gym. Liam watches proudly as Ethan performs a series of fluid taekwondo moves, his feet moving with practiced precision. You're getting better, Liam says with a grin, wiping sweat from his brow. Ethan beams with pride, his chest heaving with exertion. I had a good teacher. Liam chuckles and ruffles Ethan's hair. They've been through a lot together. After Ethan's parents died in a car crash, Liam took him in, raising him as his own. Despite the challenges, they had built a bond stronger than blood, a bond forged in trust, loyalty, and mutual respect. One day, Ethan says, catching his breath, I'm going to be just like you, Uncle Liam. I'm going to make you proud. Liam's smile fades slightly as a wave of guilt washes over him. He had tried his best to protect Ethan from the harsh realities of his life as a sniper. But deep down, he knew that Ethan looked up to him. He wanted to be like him, and that scared Liam more than anything. You already make me proud, Liam says softly, pulling Ethan into a quick hug. But promise me one thing, don't follow my path. It's not the life you think it is. Ethan looks up at him, confused. But you've always told me to follow my dreams. Isn't this part of it? Liam sighs, his gaze distant. Sometimes dreams come with a cost, kid. Just remember that. The memory fades, and Liam is back in the present, his heart aching with the weight of those words. The cost of his dream had been too high, and now his nephew, his reason for fighting, his reason for living, was entangled in something far more dangerous than he ever could have imagined. At the same time, Thousands of miles away in Seoul, South Korea, Mia Sinclair stands in a government building, her hands resting on the back of a chair as she briefs her team. On the screen behind her, images of a plane crash, financial documents, and satellite footage flash in quick succession. "We believe that the plane crash was orchestrated by Titan International," she explains, her voice steady but urgent. "Their executives are involved in a large-scale arms deal with a corrupt government in North Africa. The crash was a cover-up to eliminate witnesses." Mia points to an image of Ethan Carter, on the screen a passenger aboard the ill-fated flight. Ethan Carter was one of those witnesses, Mia continues. He was on the flight because of his connection to his uncle Liam Carter, a former Special Forces operative who has been investigating Titan for months. This wasn't just a random act of terror. It was a targeted attack. The room falls silent as Mia's team absorbs the gravity of the situation. Titan International, a global arms conglomerate, has been playing both sides of the geopolitical chessboard for years. But this time, they've gone too far. And now Mia is determined to bring them down. Her boss, Director Lee, clears his throat, drawing Mia's attention. "We need to proceed carefully," Director Lee says, his tone cautious. "Liam Carter is already in North Africa, and if he finds out the truth before we do, he could blow the entire operation. We need to control this situation." Mia nods, but she knows controlling Liam Carter is easier said than done. He's a man driven by loss, by vengeance. And now that he knows his nephew is involved, nothing will stop him from getting the answers he seeks, even if it means burning the world to the ground. Back in Asmar, Liam is deep in thought as he replays the footage of the plane crash over and over again. The grainy security camera footage shows the passengers boarding the plane, their faces etched with excitement and anticipation. Among them is Ethan, his expression a mix of nervousness and excitement as he sends Liam a final text message before the flight takes off. But something isn't right. As Liam watches the footage again, he notices a figure standing off to the side, a man in a dark suit, his face obscured by the shadows. The man isn't interacting with the other passengers, and he doesn't seem to be boarding the plane. Instead, he's watching, observing. Liam's heart races as he zooms in on the figure, trying to make out his features. He's seen this man before, years ago, during a mission in Eastern Europe. His name is Victor Novak, a former mercenary turned corporate enforcer. And now, he's working for Titan International. What the hell is Novak doing here? Liam mutters to himself, his mind racing. He quickly pulls up more information on Novak, digging through old military contacts and classified reports. Novak has been working for Titan International for years, operating in the shadows, cleaning up their messes. And now, he's involved in the crash that killed Ethan. Liam's blood boils as the pieces of the puzzle start to come together. This wasn't an accident. It was murder, and Novak is the key to uncovering the truth. As Liam prepares to confront Novak, he isn't the only one closing in on the mercenary. Mia Sinclair has been tracking Novak for weeks, following his trail across Europe and into North Africa. She knows that Novak is a dangerous man, and if she's going to take down Titan International, she needs to get to him before Liam does. Their paths cross one fateful night in the capital city of Asmar. Novak, sensing that he's being hunted, retreats to a high-security compound on the outskirts of the city, surrounded by armed guards and state-of-the-art surveillance systems. It's a fortress, and getting in won't be easy. But Liam doesn't care about easy. He's running on pure adrenaline, his mind focused on one thing: taking down the man who killed his nephew. Mia, on the other hand, is more cautious. She watches from the shadows as Liam makes his move, slipping past the compound's security with practiced ease. But just as he's about to reach Novak's office, Mia steps out of the shadows, her gun trained on his back. "Stop right there," she commands, her voice steady but tense. Liam freezes, his hand hovering over the door handle. "Who are you?" he asks, his voice low and dangerous. "I'm the one trying to keep you from getting killed," Mia replies, not lowering her weapon. "This isn't your fight." Liam turns slowly, his eyes locking onto Mia's. For a moment, there's silence between them, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. It is now, Liam says, his voice filled with determination. "Novak killed my nephew." Mia hesitates, her grip on the gun faltering slightly. She had read the reports about Ethan Carter, but hearing it from Liam himself makes it all the more real. She lowers her weapon, realizing that they're both after the same thing. "Then let's make sure he pays for it," she says, her voice softening. Liam nods, and together, they prepare to confront Novak, knowing that this is just the beginning of a much larger battle. In the heart of Titan International's sleek headquarters, far removed from the chaos of North Africa, Derek Vanderhall, the company's CEO, watches the news reports about the plane crash with a cold, detached expression. The crash, which claimed over 300 lives, including the Taekwondo team, has caused an international uproar. But for Derek, it's just another obstacle to overcome. Beside him, his second-in-command, Olivia King, taps her fingers on the edge of his desk, her eyes scanning the financial reports. "The crash eliminated the loose ends," she says, her voice devoid of emotion. "There's nothing linking us to the incident. The investigation will pin it on mechanical failure, and we'll be in the clear." Derek isn't convinced. He knows that there are still too many variables at play. Liam Carter, the NIS, the media. If even one piece of the puzzle falls into place, everything could come crashing down. "We need to control the narrative," Derek says, his voice tense. "If they find out what we're really doing, if they connect the dots, it's over for us." Olivia smirks, leaning back in her chair. "You worry too much. We've covered our tracks. Besides, who's going to believe a washed-up sniper and a government agent with no proof?" But Derek can't shake the feeling that they're not as safe as they think. He knows that Liam Carter is out there, and he knows that Liam won't stop until he gets the answers he's looking for. Back in Asmar, Liam and Mia are on the run. Titan International's hired guns are hot on their trail, their SUV tearing through the crowded streets as gunfire echoes behind them. Mia grips the steering wheel tightly, weaving through traffic as Liam leans out of the passenger window, returning fire. "We need to lose them," Mia shouts over the sound of gunfire. Liam scans the streets, his mind racing. "There's a construction site up ahead. We can use it to our advantage." Mia swerves the SUV down a narrow alleyway, the tires screeching as they narrowly avoid a collision. Behind them, Titan's mercenaries give chase, their vehicles barreling through the crowded marketplace. Liam watches as the construction site comes into view, a half-finished building surrounded by scaffolding and debris. He nods to Mia, signaling her to slow down. "Get ready," Liam says, his voice calm despite the chaos. As they approach the site, Liam leaps out of the moving vehicle, disappearing into the scaffolding. Mia continues driving, leading the mercenaries into the trap. The first vehicle slams into a pile of debris, flipping over and crashing into the side of the building. The second vehicle skids to a stop as the mercenaries jump out, their weapons drawn. But they're too late. Liam has already set up a series of traps, and within seconds, the construction materials come crashing down on them, pinning them beneath the rubble. Mia pulls the SUV to a stop and watches as Liam emerges from the shadows, his face grim. "Nice work," she says, stepping out of the vehicle. Liam nods, wiping the sweat from his brow. "We bought ourselves some time, but they'll be back. We need to move fast." After narrowly escaping the ambush, Liam and Mia find refuge in a safe house on the outskirts of the city. Inside, the air is thick with the scent of dust and old books. The room is dimly lit by a single flickering bulb, casting long shadows on the walls. Liam sits at a rickety wooden table, his laptop open in front of him as he sifts through the encrypted files they recovered from Novak's compound. Mia paces back and forth, her arms crossed over her chest, deep in thought. "There's got to be something here," Liam mutters, his eyes scanning the screen. Mia stops pacing and leans over his shoulder, her brow furrowed in concentration. "What are we looking for?" Liam pauses, then pulls up a file labeled Project Black Sunday. His fingers hover over the keyboard for a moment before he opens it. The document is filled with technical jargon, diagrams, and financial reports. But one thing becomes clear. Titan International has been funding terrorist organizations across the globe, using the chaos to secure lucrative government contracts for weapons and military equipment. But that's not all. One of the documents contains a list of names, high-ranking officials, CEOs, and politicians from countries all over the world. All of them are involved in Titan's illegal arms deals, and they're willing to do anything to keep it quiet. Mia's eyes widen as she takes in the gravity of the information. "This is it," she whispers, her voice barely above a whisper. "This is the proof we need." Liam's jaw clenches as he stares at the screen. "We can't just go public with this. If we do, Titan will come after us with everything they've got." Mia nods, her mind racing. "We need to be smart about this. We don't have to expose everything at once. We can leak enough to make them panic. Let them destroy themselves." Liam's eyes meet hers, and for the first time in a long time, he feels a flicker of hope. Together, they can bring down Titan International. But it won't be easy. The stakes are higher than ever, and the clock is ticking. The sun sets over the city of Geneva, casting a golden hue over the skyline. Inside a luxurious hotel, the air is thick with the sound of clinking glasses and murmured conversations. It's a high-profile gala, attended by diplomats, politicians, and corporate executives. At the center of it all is Derek Vanderhall, the CEO of Titan International, surrounded by sycophants and admirers. But what Derek doesn't know is that Liam Carter and Mia Sinclair have infiltrated the event, disguised as security personnel. They move through the crowd with practiced ease, their eyes locked on their target. "There he is," Mia whispers, nodding toward Derek, who is deep in conversation with a group of diplomats. Liam's heart races as he sees the man responsible for the crash that killed Ethan. His hand tightens around the handle of the hidden weapon tucked beneath his jacket. "Let's end this," Liam says, his voice low and steady. As they approach Derek, the tension in the room thickens. The crowd seems to part as Liam locks eyes with his target. Derek's smile falters as he recognizes the man standing before him. "Liam Carter," Derek says, his voice dripping with disdain. "I should have known you'd come." Liam doesn't waste time with pleasantries. He grabs Derek by the collar and drags him into a nearby room, slamming the door shut behind them. Mia stands guard outside, her eyes scanning the crowd for any signs of trouble. Inside the room, Derek struggles against Liam's grip, his eyes wide with fear. "You're done," Liam growls, pinning Derek against the wall. "It's over." Derek tries to compose himself, but the fear in his eyes is unmistakable. "You have no idea what you're dealing with," he hisses. "This is bigger than you, bigger than me. Titan won't just go away because you say so." Liam's grip tightens, his voice low and dangerous. "I don't care how big you think you are. You killed my nephew, and now you're going to pay for it." Before Derek can respond, Liam presses a gun to his temple, his finger hovering over the trigger. "You're going to confess," Liam says, his voice cold and steady. "You're going to tell the world exactly what you did, or I'll make sure you never leave this room alive." Derek's eyes dart around the room, searching for an escape, but there is none. He knows that he's been cornered. Slowly, he nods, his bravado crumbling. "All right," Derek says, his voice shaking. "I'll confess. But you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. This goes far deeper than you think." The next morning, the headlines are filled with the news of Titan International's collapse. Derek Vanderhall, under pressure from both the media and law enforcement, confesses to his role in the crash and the company's illegal dealings. Investigations are launched around the world, and Titan's executives are arrested one by one. Liam stands at Ethan's grave, the wind rustling the leaves of the nearby trees. He kneels down, placing a single flower on the gravestone. "I did it, Ethan," he whispers, his voice thick with emotion. "I made sure they paid for what they did to you." Mia stands beside him, her eyes filled with quiet understanding. She knows the pain of loss all too well, and she knows that this is only the beginning of the fight. "What now?" she asks softly. Liam stands, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "Now we make sure it never happens again." As they walk away from the grave, the camera lingers on the gravestone, the name Ethan Carter etched into the stone, a reminder of the cost of justice and the price of truth. This is a story of justice, betrayal, and the lengths we'll go to protect the ones we love. Don't miss out on this heart-pounding journey. Hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video to join us for more breakdowns and deep dives into other incredible stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.